Hey everyone, it's Suzy here. I really hope you're doing well. Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. And in today's video, we need to get ourselves comfy. Go get yourself a nice cup of tea, a coffee, a beverage of your choice because we're having a good old catch up today. This video is just dedicated to everyone who is subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. And also those who are brand new to the channel. Welcome in. My name's Suzy and I post everything to do with self-growth, wellness and active lifestyle content here on my channel. I wanted to basically post this video just to answer all the questions in the comments, from everything to do with 75 hard, how I keep on track and consistent, wellness things. I'm just here to chat about everything that you guys want to know. I'll leave timestamps as well on this video, so if you want to skip through to anything particular that especially you've been asking about or want to get to know about, then I hope that helps navigate this video as well. But without further ado, let's get right into it. So I guess this first comment is a good place to start. It says, can you give me some background of who you are and how this all started? Firstly, I am just a regular girl on the internet that decided to start a YouTube channel, and specifically in this era in my life. I'm now in my 30s. I went through a bit of a self-identity crisis, and a lot of my daily life involves my community in my hometown. My job is actually in dance, but I also had a moment where I was like, who is Suzy outside of work and serving other people? And I need to take some time to delve into self-discovery, self-development, working on myself, my confidence, my health, and actually building this kind of extension of life that makes me feel good and is a way to give back to myself, but also discover what I enjoy outside of my working life. This is a big reason for the channel and exactly why I call it Thirsty to Thrive. It's all about thriving in your daily life and doing it as just a normal, regular person. You know, a lot of the things that I do on my channel, I'm no different than anyone else on this planet. I just want to live life to the fullest and I want to be here to thrive, and I want to make sure that I'm working on myself and growing constantly and just becoming the best version of myself. So that's how it started and that's how I've ended up here on YouTube. I get quite a few comments asking about how I got into my fitness journey, where I started, all of those things. And one of these particular comments says, it doesn't look like you were ever very overweight, but I may have missed that bit. People are just interested, I suppose. You know, if I'm documenting a transformation, people want to see the before and people want to know the origin story. And quite honestly, I obviously was very active in my teens through dance, but I was never a kid who was into sports. I was definitely the person at school that didn't like physical education. I didn't like my PE classes. And yeah, it was only when I became a teenager and I started dancing then at the age of 13 that I started to move my body and do it for enjoyment. I think that element of fitness and moving my body and doing it for enjoyment has always stuck with me. I've always moved to feel good, and I think that's been a big defining moment of my fitness journey. I've made fitness, you know, a part of my life where I'm not just moving to train, I'm moving to feel the feel-good vibes and the good endorphins, and whether that be running and feeling that runner's high, or doing it for mental space, or doing bootcamp classes for, you know, the camaraderie or that motivation aspect, or doing it with others. That's always been a big part of my fitness journey. And obviously now you know what I do as a job. I naturally have qualifications in group fitness and dance and things like that. So that's kind of how my fitness journey got started, I would say, definitely through dancing. And now as I'm in my 30s, for me, movement is still about enjoyment, but also as well creating a body that I can feel strong in throughout my current years of life and that I can continue to thrive in as I get older as well. And I think looking after myself is a big part of this fitness journey and feeling good as well. so many questions on my channel about 75 hard, and naturally a lot of the reasons why people have subscribed here on the channel is because they've followed my 75 hard series. So you can go back through my channel and see that I've done multiple rounds of 75 hard. Some I've completed successfully all the way through, and some I have failed as well. But there are so many questions about how do you get 75 hard done around your work schedule? People asking about specific results with 75 hard, weight loss, the discipline that it builds, peloton, what kind of workouts that I do within 75 hard. There is so many questions about 75 hard. If you go back and watch through that series anyway, I'll leave that linked here on the screen. Especially in that final video, you'll get to hear my big takeaways from doing 75 hard. To answer some of these frequently asked questions, 75 hard is a mental toughness program. So Andy Frisella, the guy who created it, never intended it to be like a weight loss challenge or anything like that. It's a mental toughness program designed to build discipline. And that's the big thing with 75 hard. It's 75 days of showing up for yourself and committing to doing the things that you said you would do. This is how I describe it to my friends that ask me about it. Honestly, doing 75 hard is really tough, but it's life-altering, life-changing, and the amount of discipline and the mindset shifts that you can go through in 75 days is absolutely wild. I think the biggest transformations I've seen from 75 hard is actually the mindset, and becoming more disciplined and being able to show up in my daily life stronger mentally and overcome challenges. You definitely build up resilience by doing 75 hard. Obviously, yes, it does transform your body as well, and that's just a byproduct of working out twice a day with 2 45-minute workouts that have to be spread out 3 hours apart during your day. Generally speaking, throughout my rounds of 75 hard, my outdoor workout has always been 45-minute walks. Sometimes I'd throw in a run here or there, but that's the way that I did it anyway, doing like a low impact 45-minute walk every day. Not only did that get me outside every day, but it kept it very low impact so I could go into my 45-minute workout with more energy. And that second 45-minute workout was primarily through the Peloton app. In the past as well, I never had Peloton equipment. I always just used to use the app as a standalone. So I used to do strength workouts at home with dumbbells. I also used my iPad and put it on a manual stationary bike and did it like that. I also have a tread at home again, so I'd plug my phone into a screen and stream off the tread classes through the app. I always used to do that, and very, very recently, someone in my network was selling a Peloton bike, so I have recently become an owner of the Bike Plus. That's the model that I have. Never take that for granted that I'm able to have that in my home, and quite honestly, because I bought it secondhand is probably the only reason why I have that Peloton bike at home, because they are very expensive pieces of equipment, but now it's obviously all integrated through the bike. So yes, 75 hard will change your body, but that is the byproduct of doing 2 45-minute workouts every single day. And as I say in that series that I did, I think it's so important with 75 hard to pace yourself and approach it with balance. I used to schedule in every single week a recovery day or an active recovery day where I just do a walk and a 45-minute slow flow yoga session, so my body had somewhat rest and that I could kind of recoup some energy to continue for the rest of the challenge. So again, that series you can watch back, especially the final videos as well. It will go through all the 75 hard, kind of what I learn and what I do next time and things like that. And obviously, people ask me all the time, would I ever do 75 hard again? I think 75 hard for me, doing it once a year is a perfect reset mentally. You will know that I do love doing a challenge and it keeps me accountable, and doing something like 75 hard isn't realistic daily life, but it is a good way of resetting, building discipline, and I would do 75 hard again for that reason. We're going on to the next category, and this category is all about wellness, routines, and favorites. So the first question is, may I ask, what are your workout shoes? In this particular video that this lovely comment was left on, I was wearing the Nike P6000s. They are my kind of everyday wear shoe. I wouldn't really say that they're a workout shoe. They're definitely more of like a lifestyle shoe, but I love teaching dance in them because they are just so comfortable, and they're a pretty flat shoe as well, so I do some of my strength workouts in them. They're just great. Honestly, they're my go-to shoe for just like stomping around, teaching dance class in. Absolutely love them. For running, I wear mostly Asics, and Superblast 2 is an absolute like golden running shoe. I'm yet to try anything that I love more than that shoe. That was my marathon shoe. I trained in Superblast 1 and ran the marathon in Superblast 2. It's not got a carbon plate in it, but it's just a really good versatile shoe that can support you in every single type of run, whether you're doing like a long slow run or a tempo run, and obviously I ran the marathon in them as well. And for me, because they are a unisex shoe, I just found the fit really good as well. I'm a UK size 7 with quite a wide foot, and to have like a unisex shoe, it just gave the right amount of room in the shoe as well. Found it really comfortable, and yeah, I absolutely love that running shoe. The next one is, hello, can you link your Spotify playlist? I can definitely link my Spotify playlist. Music is a big part of my life, obviously. I love listening to music. I feel like my music taste is quite versatile, but primarily I listen to a lot of like hip hop, R&B, like pop music, that type of thing. I love like, at the moment, especially now it's coming into summer, I'm a bit obsessed with Cateranada, that vibe. I don't know, it's the summer energy, so I absolutely love music, and I will leave my Spotify link below. The next question is, I'm curious about the ring on your index finger. This one, right? So I wear the OURA ring. This is a wellness tracker, I would like to describe it as. Yes, it tracks fitness, movement, activity, but it also tracks things like your temperature, so for your cycle. Again, I'll leave OURA linked in the description below so you can take a look and look at all the details, but I absolutely love my OURA ring. I also still wear my Apple Watch. However, if I didn't utilize a lot of the things on Apple Watch, for example, how it integrates with my phone and like Spotify, and when I'm in dance classes, it's obviously a useful thing to have as well, I would just switch over and have the OURA ring. I absolutely love the OURA ring, and it auto detects activity as well, so even if I'm out on a walk, it will have detected the walk and captured the data from that, or if I'm dancing or doing a workout, it knows at all times. The OURA ring also tells me a lot about my sleep and recovery and how ready and equipped I am for every single day, and that's another reason why I love it. Not only because of the stats and things like that, but also as well, it's really comfortable to wear. I don't really feel this anymore, and especially when you're sleeping as well, you can wear this 24/7. What app do you use for the sounds for sleep? I use the Calm app. I listen to rain sounds, which I'm guessing is what you saw in that particular video that you left that comment on. I love the Calm app. I think it's amazing. If you're someone who's like wanting to get into meditation or wants to put something calm and soothing on before bed to relax your mind, it's incredible. Are you pescatarian? Also, what's your daily protein goal? Yes, I am pescatarian. I was vegetarian for a very long period of my life, and now I'm pescatarian and I have fish now. I'm not going to share too much about like my protein goal because it is very specific to every single person depending on how much you weigh, what your goals are, etc. So, but yeah, I am pescatarian. I would like to know your opinion about the Shark LED mask. How long have you had it? I have had the Shark LED mask as soon as it came out. Like literally the week it came out, I was the owner of a Shark LED mask. I absolutely love it. I think red light therapy is an absolute game changer. The reason why I like the Shark LED mask in particular is because it has the cooling eye mask underneath it as well. So it has these like cooling plates. It's really good for like depuffing eyes, and yeah, that just feels nice after a long day for sure, whilst it's got the LED mask on as well. I'm a huge skincare lover, and I also follow Caroline Hirons on Instagram. She is an amazing skincare goddess queen. She's full of knowledge. So if you're looking for more kind of skincare knowledge and like why things like red light therapy, LED masks are such a great thing, definitely go check out her Instagram profile. And the final category is life and random questions that you guys have asked me. So we've got a lot here about my experience with the Great North Run and running a marathon, whether I had a lot of running experience before that, would I ever run a marathon again? If I can run a marathon, me, just your everyday active girly, non-professional runner, if I can run a marathon, you can do anything that you put your mind to. If you've got that itch or desire to run a marathon but you're scared, just know that the body is incredible, and when you train for running a marathon, it is wild how much your body adapts to running distance. Before marathon training, I did build a base. So I was running weekly, regularly, and I did that to make sure that I built up my training intensity. So I didn't go straight into a marathon training block. I built up my miles, gradually, and eased myself into it. And I definitely recommend doing that if you're thinking about running a marathon. I know a lot of people on social media right now are running all sorts of crazy distances, marathons, ultras, etc. But if I can run a marathon, you can literally do anything. I had really great experiences at the Great North Run. The people of Newcastle are absolutely incredible. It is the half marathon race in the UK that everyone must do. It's so much fun. The people are just incredible. If you're from Newcastle, let me know in the comments. One of the funniest questions I get asked about a lot is your garage attached to your house? I think it confuses people a lot when I go out of my house and then open a door and people are like, what is this? Yeah, in the UK, it's not always common for us to have a door that goes into our garage, and my garage is a part of my house, but there is no interconnecting door, and that's quite a common thing in the UK. Not every garage is linked directly into the house, or there's not an interconnecting door. So it just so happens to be that I have to go out of my front door and then open my garage from the outside to go into it. That's just a weird quirk of some houses in the UK, and that is my house and how it is. And the last two questions I'm going to finish on is, what is your favourite podcast? I obviously love listening to Mel Robbins. I just love her. I love how real she is. I love the types of chats that she has, because it's all about health, wellness, self-development, all of those things. I absolutely love her. Honestly, I would just listen to the Mel Robbins podcast every single day. Like, I really do love that podcast. The final question that we're going to finish on is, what are your tips for staying disciplined with workouts and keeping consistent? Now, if you're watching this video, I think we can all agree, not every day we wake up feeling motivated, and keeping consistent is quite difficult sometimes, especially if you're juggling like a busy life, and at the end of the day, life happens, and this thing called Earth that we're all sat on, she keeps spinning round, doesn't she? So it is so hard sometimes to keep consistent, and discipline is the thing that allows you to keep showing up. How do I keep disciplined? Well, this sounds very deep and probably not what you're expecting me to say, but discipline to me comes from like a deeper sense of why. Why am I doing this thing? Why is this thing important to me? Why do I need to keep showing up? And I think when you attach a reason of why to anything that you're doing, whether that be showing up to work out, why am I showing up to work out? Why is this important to me? Or why am I working on this goal? Why am I crafting time out of every single day to keep working on this goal? Why is it important to me? Why do I want to do this? When you attach like a deeper meaning to something, that is your motivation to show up. And other things can help, like accountability. My community here in my city keeps me so accountable because I have this deep burning desire to like show up for them and to make sure that like in my work life I'm doing my very best, because they are my motivator. They keep me showing up. And just like you guys on YouTube, you guys keep me showing up as well. When I'm doing all these crazy challenges and I'm having this like, low day, or life is just lifing. You guys keep me more accountable than probably what you know, because I know at the end of the week, I'm like, I'm going to show up for my community here on YouTube and document real life and show the highs and the lows, but I need to document that and keep showing up for them. So I think attaching a why can really help keep you disciplined and motivated. And also as well, every day doesn't have to be perfect. And we need to actually celebrate just showing up sometimes. If you've set yourself a goal of working out 4 times a week, you get to day 3 and you're physically exhausted, the win could just be going for like a 10-minute walk. It's just kind of showing up with whatever you have, 100% of whatever you've got on that day, and doing something and counting it as a win because you still showed up. And really, those are the things that matter. That creates consistency in itself, just doing the reps of showing up. So that's my tips, advice on discipline and consistency. If you've made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here on the channel, and thank you for spending some time to chit chat with me. Let me know in the comments if you've got any other questions, what type of content you want to see next here on the channel, any challenges, anything like that. Let me know in the comments. And if you haven't done so already, you know what to do. Go ahead, press that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.